Good morning, Dr. Frita. You saw the report there from the Today Show and NBC News, and there is concern about why Donald Trump has been going to the doctor so much. His hands, what's happening with his ears, the rash, falling asleep, the ankles, all of that. What say you? Is he going to the doctor a lot? Should Americans be concerned about this?
Hi, Don. Yes, Americans should be concerned about this. And yes, I am a medical doctor, but it does not take a medical doctor to observe that he is showing visible signs of physical decline as well as overt signs of mental decline. As our new White House correspondent, Daniel, whom I love, stated, this is his third visit in 13 months. He had his second, quote unquote, annual visit back in October, and they covered up that CT scan. And by the time the physician did share why he had a CT scan of his heart, he said that, oh, it's just preventive. Well, you don't typically do preventive CT scans. You do something that's diagnostic after you find something wrong. So chances are that there was something going on with him cardiovascularly with his heart to make them do that testing. And then what we've witnessed, of course, with his mental decline, his forgetfulness, his falling asleep, even though ironically he used to call President Biden Sleepy Joe, the fact that you go back and you look, he has like no impulse control, no inhibitions. You look at his social media posts overnight, hour after hour after hour, when he should be sleeping in the middle of the night, he's posting ridiculous and very immature posts. Like after Stephen Colbert's last day, you might have seen that post of him taking him and throwing him in a garbage can and doing the YMCA dance, things that just don't make sense. And that's mentally. And then moving on to physically. The chronic venous insufficiency is the absolute most benign cause of swollen ankles. And it's really just quite the coincidence that this near 80-year-old would have the most benign cause of swollen legs. And quite frankly, based on other evidence that we see, and of course, I'm not Donald Trump's doctor, swollen legs can be from congestive heart failure. They can be from blood clots. I'm a board certified kidney doctor. They can be from kidney failure, more serious things. There's not a lot of transparency. And quite frankly, all of these frequent visits and frequent dental visits for that matter, make it seem like this near 80-year-old man is having mental and physical decline and that he just might not have what it takes.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that. So let's get into it because Dr. Jonathan Reiner, who is, I think, a fantastic physician. As a matter of fact, I don't think that he's, someone who has Trump derangement syndrome. He was Dick Cheney's cardiologist. And I got to know him during COVID, and very, matter of fact, he is calling this, he says that Donald Trump, to him, in his opinion, has severe daytime somnolence. Here he is.
The president has severe daytime somnolence. He falls asleep very often. He's fallen asleep in the Oval Office on multiple occasions with people talking to him in the cabinet room, and was concerned yesterday that he might have fallen asleep at Arlington National Cemetery during Memorial Day observances. And chronic insomnia is a severe illness. It can result in an increase in risk of dementia, decrease in cognitive effects in older people. It's equivalent to about increasing your age by about 3.5 years. It increases your cardiac risk of having a heart attack or developing congestive heart failure. And it can produce a decline in your sort of mental functions, like it could increase depression, anxiety. So it's a real problem, and the president appears to struggle to stay awake during the day. And I'd like to hear what the White House has done to evaluate why the president has this increased daytime somnolence and what they're doing to improve that.
Dr. Frita, quick answer to that, and I have one more that I want to play for you that you want to respond to. What do you say to what Dr. Reiner says?
I agree, that's spot on. It's not just a matter of being a little sleepy in the daytime. That daytime somnolence can signify something else. And another diagnosis, obstructive sleep apnea. Again, I don't know if the president has that, but if you have obstructive sleep apnea, meaning you snore to the point where you stop breathing and you don't get oxygen, one of the telltale signs of that is falling asleep in the day. And obstructive sleep apnea is another condition that can be associated with heart disease, congestive heart failure, pulmonary hypertension. And so his sleepiness is very serious. And it would be nice if we had some transparency instead of us being told that he's not sleeping, but he's just looking at the back of his eyelids, I suppose.
And speaking of transparency, thank you for responding to that. Here's Dr. Reiner on the explanation about his October visit to Walter Reed.
Well, first of all, we've never had an adequate explanation of why the president went to Walter Reed in October for off-cycle testing. The president's team hates taking the president to Walter Reed, and they only take the president there when there is testing that they need to do that cannot be accomplished at the White House. The White House has a prodigious capacity to test and treat the president and his team. So you only go to Walter Reed when you need something like a CAT scan or an MRI scan or some other invasive modality. And it's never been adequately explained why they took the president there. His physician later said that he went there for preventative testing, which really makes no sense, because it creates the kind of concern and speculation that occurs when the president, in a almost unannounced way, goes to Walter Reed for unusual testing. So I'd like to hear much more of a fulsome explanation from Dr. Barbabella about what that testing showed. Well, one other thing, I'll be very interested to see what testing they do today, because if they repeat some of the scans that have been done in the last year or so, then that tells us that they are surveilling something, and that's never been disclosed to us.
Interesting. You think they'll be that transparent? He's right. I think, I don't know what you think.
They won't be that transparent if past behavior predicts future behavior. And I actually feel a bit sorry for Dr. Barbabella, because as a physician, I know that he must realize how inconsistent his statements are and how unbelievable they are. He knows that as a physician, that when he's telling us, oh yeah, it's just routine, that it doesn't ring true. But he really, I do believe, should be transparent, especially since he campaigned on his vigor, on his high testosterone, and how he's so much more fit than not only President Biden. He said that he was in better shape than President Obama, President George W. Bush. So since he's been someone who's spoken about health as being such a premier point of his re-election, he should be transparent. Plus, we should know if he has the cognitive stamina and the physical stamina to defend this country, which not looking so promising.
We don't know.
We don't know.
We just don't know. All right. Dr. Frita, thank you. It's always a pleasure having you, and we'll update. We'll see if they answer those questions, your questions and Dr. Reiner's questions. Thank you, Dr. Frita, triple board certified medical doctor with certifications in nephrology, hypertension, and diabetes, and a friend of the Don Lemon Show, also the host of the Dr. Frita Show on YouTube. Make sure you check it out. Thank you, doctor. Appreciate it.
Thank you.